All right, we're going to welcome you back to the Principals Podcast. This is Season 4, Episode 13. Today is Groundhog's Day, Mr. Hyam. How are you? You're not there? You
I'm
lost?
here. I'm
Yeah.
here. Seems like every day's Groundhog Day
It
with
is
you and I with
Groundhog's Day
this.
here at
Yeah.
Chardon High School every day. Does anyone know? In today's guests, we have a culmination of, we have eighth graders, we have juniors, we have seniors. We're talking about 27B, The Change. The event, the annual event that we put on, or the annual focus every year in February. So in a few moments, we're going to be welcoming our guests who are actively involved, and there's some new faces too that will be actively involved as they go throughout the years. So the question was, did Puxatawny Phil see a shadow? Does anyone know? He did see a shadow. So he saw a shadow. It means spring's coming.
Spring's coming. They're saying in 6 weeks.
Yes,
I'm not
I
sure if we
doubt that
believe that, but
highly doubt that in Northeast Ohio.
Right.
But that is a good sign. It's optimism, one of our core values, that we don't have to deal with the stuff that we're dealing with on a weekly basis of 17 degrees, then 41 degrees with sleet. And then I know all of you, Faith Kilfoyle is joining us today. I know she has snow day magic in her blood. She would love to have more snow days.
We worry about snow days for graduation, actually, and we hold graduation in May, haven't we? We worry about getting snowed out of that. So
we will not. So it is February 2nd. Miss Pavasek has joined us. How are you? We'll have to get your mic working. But yes, we have so many people on this podcast today.
Hi, everybody.
It looks like the Brady Bunch on our end. So I will start by saying we've officially have started day 2 of 27B, The Change. Today, on the announcements, it was presented on what our focus is for this week, leading into next week, because there are so many different components of working at self and others, community, etc. So I want to begin this podcast by introducing Faith and Sydney. They are seniors. They have actively been involved in many leadership activities this year, and this is their second year of doing things for 27B, The Change. So ladies, tell us a little bit about the framework of the month.
So basically, we just kind of we split it up into 3 categories. From the first week of February being more about reflecting on yourself and how to be the best version of you. And then February 6th to 12th, we talked a lot about others and how you can demonstrate kindness to not only you, but to other people around you, being like teachers or just like other classmates or family members. And then the last week February 13th to 19th is community. So find yourself in the service of others. And then February 20th to 28th is living the change and ways to create new habits and model this leadership each day. So we just kind of came up with some suggestions that are pretty simple, just ways to change the community around you.
So maybe I'll ask this specifically to Sydney now. This is year 5 for both of you, and obviously the rest of your peers in the senior class. Is there something that you're looking forward to, as you know, we look at optimism and kindness in February? Is there something that the senior class is looking forward to in February? Resounding around kindness.
There's a lot of things that we put on here that could have people looking forward to, like writing a letter. That could be something to look forward to, either writing it or receiving it, or donating to a good cause, just like cleaning out a closet, making yourself feel better while donating to others by helping. But not necessarily in February, but I know we're all excited to graduate.
No doubt. I've always told everyone, and Mr. Hyam knows this very clearly, when February 20th comes around, the rest of the year goes by extremely quickly because that is the official day for spring sports. And it flies by from there. So, ladies, we appreciate you giving us the framework. And now we're going to talk about some of the specific frames around that work. And I want to start by going first with Drago and Andrew, who are in different rooms. So, Drago, you're following the footsteps of your brothers, which is great, and you have a phenomenal family, and you are actively involved in service, and you and Andrew and many others show so much humility. Could you tell us a little bit more ways that we can learn more about what you two are doing for Pink Shirt Day?
So a little bit ago, a couple years ago, this one kid went to school and he was wearing a pink shirt, and then all of these people around him started to like bully him and make fun of him for it. So the next day, a bunch of his other friends, a bunch of other seniors came to school wearing pink shirts, and they had a ton of them to give out to a bunch of other people to wear pink. And that's basically how it all started. And then basically every year around this time, on the 22nd of February, everyone wears a pink shirt to prevent and stop bullying from happening.
Yes, that's outstanding. I did some research on this. It started in 2007 in Nova Scotia, Canada. So it's not only just, what has come into our area, it's international because other countries also participate in this. It's a great, simple way that anyone can participate. Andrew, you've joined the ranks on this. Can you tell us a little bit more about these shirts, or potentially how we can allocate and access these shirts?
Yeah. So basically, these shirts are being made by a small little company that's helping us on the square, and all the proceeds are going to go to them for making the shirts. But we have posters all around the halls in our schools. We passed out papers to at least most of the football team, trying to get them around to other people too. But basically, yeah, we've been trying to relay it to as many people, maybe not physically, but verbally, to let them know that you can get a shirt, look for it in the halls, or basically anything like that.
And that's extraordinary because it doesn't take much in the sense of this is not a fundraiser. You're trying to raise awareness.
Yeah.
And which is really important, and to demonstrate kindness and the little things that we can do. And, even if you don't get the pink shirt, you can wear a pink shirt to celebrate that. So we appreciate all the work that you both do, and the larger consortium of leadership, specifically from your kind of your core, because you both do work at children's hospitals. You've made cookies and you've delivered them. So your active service is very appreciative. And I'm going to put all of the links here in the Weekend Reflection this week. So, gentlemen, I appreciate giving us that little synopsis.
Thank you.
Now I want to jump over to the guidance conference room where we have our 8th graders. Inside the frame, could you introduce yourselves, because we don't see everybody there. I know who's there, but please introduce yourself for all of our listeners.
I'm Rylan Foley. I'm Danik Chapansky.
And I'm Tristan Fleckenstein.
And you three, it sounds like you've done this before, but now you're in the high school. You're doing a polar plunge. So tell us about this polar plunge that you guys are trying to raise money for, where is it's going, and some of the opportunities that other people can get involved in.
All right. Do some freezing for a reason this winter and join us for the Cleveland Polar Plunge on February 25th. I, Danik Chapansky, and Tristan Fleckenstein are attending our 2nd year, and Ryan Foley's first. We are taking the plunge to support the Special Olympics of Ohio.
Your donations and fundraising efforts will assist the Special Olympics in providing year-round sports training and competition for children and adults with intellectual disabilities.
Every year, the Polar Plunge challenges thousands of jumpers throughout the state to take the plunge for Special Olympics Ohio. Be a part of the coolest event of the year by taking the plunge, donating, spectating, or volunteering.
We also invite anyone who wishes to participate by jumping to join our team, Trainwreck Family.
Hey, did you see the play on word? They said the coolest. Shouldn't they be saying the coldest? Coldest event of the year, guys?
What I absolutely loved how prepared they were
Yeah.
with this, and
That's
what
our
will be.
eighth graders for you.
Yeah,
Circuit
that
of
was really
success.
well done. And how cold does that water get, gentlemen?
I think last year it was like less than 10 degrees. So it's pretty cold. But it's made even worse by the fact that they didn't do a great job at clearing the water because they dig a hole in the like pretty much. And so there were a bunch of ice chunks that also cut up our legs, which made it even worse.
Wait a second, guys. The water is less than 10 degrees. Let's think a little bit here on the science. If it's less than 10 degrees, is it still in a liquid form or is it in the solid form?
It's in kind of a slushier liquid.
Yeah, it's like a slush.
Like a
So
slush.
the air temperature probably could have been
Yeah.
9 degrees.
Probably so, yeah.
But
I won't be doing this, just so you know, Murray. I think the body will lock up and I'd be done.
hey, Drago and Andrew, have you done ice baths?
I have. They're pretty bad.
Yeah. So I want to. This is a perfect transition, gentlemen. I really appreciate. We're going to come back to you because I'm going to also link how we can donate to this this cause because it's the transition. I want to begin first over because McKenna, you're probably like smiling ear to ear because you and your gold project for the Girl Scouts project, you did Laxabled, and you were basically teaching many of our students here how to do lacrosse. And does that warm your heart what you're hearing these young eighth graders are doing?
It does. It really does. It's the message that they're spreading that warms my heart. That that there are more people that are bringing attention and awareness to the need to be inclusive with the students here, and especially like Special Olympics athletes who have intellectual and physical disabilities. It's definitely important to be able to spread that awareness and bring more attention to it.
Well said, as always. And let's talk about your group. You are representing two of many students in the HMM group that works with Mrs. Blackburn on Topper Time. What have you been up to, and what are you planning in your groups for this month?
Yeah, we've had a lot of ideas, and we're definitely trying to keep everything organized so we're not biting off more than we can chew. But you can.
So next week we're hopefully gonna start like an appreciation station. We've seen like different ideas from social media on that, and the ideas aren't finalized, but something along the lines of like you can send a message to a teacher. We're hoping to do some like teacher appreciation stuff towards the end of the month. Maybe working in with the NHS breakfast, and then we all have the big special assembly. We're not going to touch too much on that, but we're definitely getting people excited for that, and that is going to be like our culminating kindness initiative. Yeah.
All of our ideas so far have been about building connections and spreading positivity between students and staff. So a few other ideas that we've been talking about. We want to bring back the red folders with staff members, and where if a student writes them like a note or something that can just lighten up their day, we'll keep folders for all the staff members, and they would be able to look back on that if they're having a bad day. And then we're also thinking about making like hygiene kits for the boutique in the cafeteria, so that it's like more discreet and people don't feel like they're walking out with a bunch of stuff, and it's just easier to carry like a bag and put it in their backpack to bring home.
And then we're also hoping to work with the Lost team and make little blankets, just like little tiny tie lap blankets for their comforting kits for when they respond to calls. So we have a lot of different connections within the community and different organizations and agencies, and we're hoping to do that this month.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to work together to get everything done because we definitely have a lot of ideas that need a lot of work.
Many people have asked me, like, why do you love Chardon? And obviously, it's my home. It's where I was raised, where I graduated. But this podcast and hearing these words is why I love Chardon. It's just the genuine authenticity of a small group. And there are many others that are not here. As an example, Ms. Pavasek is the administrator in charge of PBIS. So, Ms. Pavasek, could you talk about what PBIS has been doing, specifically all year, but maybe this month?
Sure. So we are working on doing, so we created all of the expectations for the school. And we had students who made the posters. Maybe you guys have seen them up in the hallways, in the restroom, in the cafeteria, and also on the bus and the classroom. And those were all made by students. So we got input from staff for the expectations. We got input from students for the expectations. And then we met with a group of students who ultimately created the posters. We went to the theater art classes and they had the opportunity to work through those expectations. And they made really sweet videos, which was great. We also started sending thank you cards to the staff. So something to boost the staff to keep everyone, on their toes and, feeling good about coming in every day. Just to recognize everyone for all their hard work, especially with all the things that we've dealt with over the past few weeks with the flood and all of that stuff. So those are just a few of the things that we're doing to just, try to promote positivity within the school. That's
outstanding. And Mr. Hyam, I know that, we're very conscientious of time here, but you have some things you might want to ask them, or you want to have a game with them?
Some surprising facts about Groundhog Day, and maybe, a question or two. This is kind of the first day that I start thinking spring is near. And then the next day is St. Patrick's Day. You kind of get to that 6 weeks after Groundhog Day where the weather starts changing. Like you said, spring sports are out and about, and we're starting to get outside some more. So this is for anyone. I'm going to throw some things at you. You guys jump in, kind of give me your sense. Does anyone know where Groundhog Day actually originated from? Which country? This is open to anyone, even Miss Pavasek.
Pensacola, Pennsylvania.
Pensacola? Isn't that Florida? Oxitani Hill?
Now, seniors, remember, I said which country, not which state, which country. No,
We say Scotland or like Ireland or something like that.
Somewhere in
we
Europe.
got Scotland, Ireland. We have Pennsylvania for our few seniors there.
We just learned this
Just learned
today.
it. We watched the groundhog.
You watched it, so you would know that the Germans. It was the Germans. The Germans actually started the whole Groundhog Day, and it was all about connecting with Candlemas, not Christmas. Candlemas. It's early Europeans believe that the sun came out on February 2nd. That winter would only last for 6 more weeks. So that's where it's actually started, back in Germany. So, it's important for all of us to learn some things. Do you guys know how long a groundhog usually lives for? Does anyone know how long?
Four to 5 years.
Okay, so the 8th graders are coming with 4 to 5 years. Anyone else? As you're looking it up on Google.
I say 18 years.
18 years. And that was for our seniors again, 18 years?
I think that was the junior group.
Oh, the juniors. Juniors with 18. Anyone else?
Seniors say 2.
2 years. Okay, anyone else? I'm going to, shout out to those 8th graders. They were closest. It's actually about they live up to about 6 years. But there is this thought that Punxsutawney Phil, can you believe I said that, Murray? I know.
You did. Well done.
Well done. That he does this little sipping of the magic fluids, that he's actually still alive from 1886. It's the original. That's what some believe. But then again, if you believe a lot of what people say on this day, It's pretty interesting. All right, percentage. For those who, none of you are old enough to gamble, but in Ohio it's illegal to gamble now on sports. So they do all these wagering. I'm going to give you an over/under. Over/under 50%. The accuracy for a groundhog on if winter's going to end in 6 weeks. What do you think it is? Is it under 50% or over 50%?
Over.
Look at Bruce. He's ready to
Bruce
jump
is
in.
go-
We say under.
We say under.
Eighth graders?
They just shake their hands.
Yeah.
They don't know.
It's actually under. It's only been proven correct about 39% of the time.
Why are we still doing this?
Well, because of all the fun. America believes anything we could do to have a party, right? Come on, think about it. If we can have a party, it's
And
a
just
big deal
to
in
clarify,
America.
though, if
So
he doesn't see his shadow, that means
More winter?
It
Doesn't?
could be sooner. It could be sooner.
if he
so
does
if
see his shadow, that means that we have 6 more weeks of winter.
That's what I understand.
All I know
That's
is
what I
that we're going to have
understand.
snow and rain in Northeast Ohio until April.
Well, we've been on graduation alert for a snow day, so that has happened in the past. So let's make sure it's not. All right, last one, guys. Last one. True or false? True or false? The original Groundhog Day involved eating groundhogs.
Yikes.
True or false?
True.
True. Yeah, true.
That's actually true. And they actually made a punch out of the remains from a groundhog.
wrong
Wouldn't that be
in
wonderful?
so many different ways.
Yeah. See, now look, you're enlightened by the things you now learned about Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day will never be the same for you, will it?
I do have a question for you, for everybody. One of the middle points of the February is another Hallmark holiday called Valentine's Day. Are you a chocolate type of person on Valentine's Day, or do you like the sweet tarts or the sweetheart type of candy? Or do you want which? And I'm more interested. You want the chocolate, or do you want the sweet type of sweet tart candy? Eighth graders,
Sweeter candies.
Yeah, we're kind of feeling the sweeter stuff.
the sweeter stuff. You may. There's a purpose to this question, because I think that our executive student council knew what we did on February 14th last year. There were fun dips around, so I'm asking a question in the case that there could be a surprise.
We're both chocolate all the way.
Chocolate, okay, Mr. Bruce.
I'd probably have to say chocolate.
Chocolate, okay. Drago,
It's definitely chocolate.
ladies.
I say chocolate.
I say sweets. Any type of sour is good.
Okay,
Okay, but do flowers trump chocolate and sweets, or would you rather have the chocolate and sweets rather than flowers?
No, flowers.
For sure.
Chocolate.
And I'm sure the boys want the flowers, so that
Yeah.
we'll move on from there, Murray.
Andrew Bruce would love a nice carnation. Don't tell me, Andrew, you would love that. And as a matter of fact, this is going to be a very well received podcast because Mama Bear is going to be watching it. She's
I'm sure
watched
she will.
all 135 of these.
I agree.
She's in the top 1% of our listeners.
Yeah. All right. We know you got to run. So I'm going to ask you, as we are spreading kindness all year long, but really targeting it, let's give a moment of gratitude. Someone you want to give a shout out to for this week. Someone, it doesn't have to be someone, in your inner circle. It could be someone that you might think, hey, you know what? They need a pick me up. So you want to give them a shout out. So any shout outs? And we're going to obviously begin with our eighth graders because they have to earn their ranks. 8th graders, who are you going to give a shout out to?
Oh, sure.
Can we say teachers?
Sure thing. Do you want to name them or do you want to just collect them all?
Mr. Goss, yeah.
Mr. Goss.
Mr. Goss, yeah.
That's a great one. Why do you want to give a shout out to Mr. Goss? You got to give me
He's
some
a
specific
super
reason.
fun teacher, and I like the way that he like teaches. Like he's very open.
Yeah.
So I would say that's 100% of the people on this podcast probably had Mr. Goss at some point, right? Yeah, they're all shaking their head. No, Bruce? You have missed out. You do have the opportunity for AP Human Geography, though, with Mr. Goss. Let's just transition in my visual here to McKenna and Rebecca.
I'll give a shout out to Mrs. Blackburn. She's been really supportive of all of our ideas, and she is like never gonna shut something down. She just always like comes up with things to support us. Even like today, she's like, "Oh, just pop in my office to take the call." So she does everything for us, which is so nice.
I
She's
agree,
amazing.
but I also have a lot of other people. Like obviously my family, but I also have to say like Mrs. Bunker too, because I am like a teacher's aide for her during first period, and she always invites me to come back throughout the day, and she's always there for me too. So probably say Mrs. Bunker.
Andrew, who you want to give a shout out to?
I'm just gonna shout out Mr. Hyam for all those nice jokes. I thought those were pretty good.
That's the first
Hey.
time I've been called a comedian. Thank you.
You
But
better.
I've been told I'm funny looking, but first time I've been told I was a comedian. So thank you.
Don't forget Mama Bear out there, Andrew Bruce.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
Yeah, shout out Mama Bear when she comes and watches this.
Yep. All right, Drago, and your beautiful hair that's going hang 10.
I'm gonna have to say my mom for helping me and Andrew set this whole thing up, and I mean she does a lot for us, so it's nice.
She is like a pseudo service ninja for our district. She does a lot of great things. She's really amazing person and educator. Faith and Sydney, who are in open campus but not on campus. Where are you?
We're at Panera because we thought it would be quiet, but it's
But
not
it's
very
really
quiet.
busy.
So who are your shout outs this week?
My shout out is Mr. Cole. He's always positive at bright and early 7 a.m. And he always takes time to talk to me and make sure that I'm doing good. We love Mr. Cole.
He's
And then-
amazing. I think we all have had him. Myself, I've had him. So I can join the ranks. Go ahead, Faith.
Mine's just to all the teachers because they've definitely had to like change their schedule a lot for all of us to still have like a pretty normal year. So I know it's probably challenging not to teach in their own rooms, but I appreciate all of them.
Agreed. Miss Pavasek, do you have someone you want to shout out this week?
I do, and I hope she hears me. I want to shout out Mrs. Perkins. So I don't know if you guys know Mrs. Perkins, but she's our new attendance secretary, and she's really nice, and she's really uplifting and positive, and she works really hard, and I just really appreciate her.
No doubt. And Mr. Hyam.
I'm going to shout out these wonderful students. I know you don't have them all on this podcast that are making a difference this month and every month here, but these wonderful students are doing amazing work. And like you said, they bring the spotlight back to Chardon in a positive way. So I truly appreciate them.
Agreed. There's so many people want to shout out, but there's one in particular, and I'm just going to keep it throughout the day. My shout out goes to Claudette and the kitchen staff. They are going to be putting together, and I really am promoting it, their fruit bake tomorrow, which is something you got to try. Here's the thing about food service is like everyone, their job is to serve and obviously provide meals, but they do so many things to make sure that they're doing it homemade and also obviously through the guidelines. And their numbers have remained steady since COVID. When COVID came and everything was free, and then you have to pay for it again, Chardon High School numbers have consistently been moving in a direction towards making revenue, and it's due to a lot of the work that they have done to make the meals unique and creative. So that's why I want to give them a shout out, because they're going to be making a really great meal tomorrow, our morning opportunity called a fruit bake. It's going to be a strawberry and blueberry crisp with whipped cream on it in a bowl. I highly recommend it. It will go fast. So that's my shout out. All of you students, thank you for joining us today. We will certainly going to be promoting each of your programs in the Week in Reflection that will be posted tomorrow. And feel free to get those communications out in the building. So once again, thank you again. And let's all say, go Toppers. See
Go
you guys.
Toppers.
Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.